Captain Matt here with Captain's Quarters First Class, a podcast about outdoor lighting, the business, and everything that goes on with being, a service business owner. And today I wanted to talk about planning for 2026 or whatever year you might be watching this, planning for the next quarter, planning for the next month. It doesn't matter. Right now, I'm recording this video. It is December. I'm talking to all my Captain's Crew guys who are all pretty much all of them, all but one, do Christmas. And so obviously they are so much busier than they normally are. Christmas is an easier sales process. And because it's so condensed, you just become so much busier. You don't have any of the time that you used to have. And what often gets overlooked is the back end things, the money game, right? We have for the Captain's Crew members, they get a money game sheet where it helps them with figuring out what their daily operating is, how much money they have in the bank, how many months they have left of funding if they get no work right now, who owes them money, who do they owe money, all of that on one sheet. And none of them have been able to keep up with it. None of them have seen the importance of spending a half hour a week to update that, to always use that as your money Bible, if you will. Excuse me. And I harp on these guys so much because I know the importance of it, because I didn't do it. And every year during Christmas time, we'd get all of this money, all of this revenue being generated, and it's all condensed in, 60 days. And I made different decisions because that money was coming in. I made decisions that I shouldn't have made when that money was coming in. I made decisions that I would have changed had I took a moment to look at the money game at large rather than the money game right now in that moment. When you open up your account and there's hundreds of thousands of dollars in there for the business, what do you do with it? It can be so fucking easy to spend it. Yeah, I've got it. I can buy that new truck. I can buy this trailer. I can get all these things wrapped. I can buy this new inventory. I can get this new tool. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's the end of the year. I have to spend. And that is something that all of us, we see on Facebook from these rich motherfuckers who you are not. Like, you're not them. You have to remember that. And they're telling you spend the money before you have to pay taxes on it. You know how many poor decisions are made? Now, there is some real good things from that you should hire an accountant, a bookkeeper, an attorney to look over all of this stuff. But so often, right, even me, right, I would spend all this money to make the taxes come down, but then I'd leave myself cash poor. So what? So I didn't spend a little bit of money in taxes. I spent all of this money that now I don't have on things that I really didn't need. Yes, did we use them? Most of the things, but there's plenty of things that are still in boxes that cost thousands of dollars that never got used just so I didn't have to pay taxes on it. Well, I paid like a stupid tax on it, right? So when you have your money game in line, you can open it up and look at it and remember that it's not just right now. If you look at, the next quarter, what does that war chest look like? Do you have money in that war chest to fund yourself if no jobs come in for 3 months or 4 months, whatever month mark that you put on it? Most people don't. So you see all this money coming in for Christmas. And you're like, I want to reduce my tax burden. And you spend most of it. Then you become cash poor and you're struggling. And it's this constant roller coaster of up and down, money, no money, money, no money, money, no money. I know, because I lived it for fucking years, right? Just because we're doing 7 figures in revenue, my God, like I was just joking around and it wasn't even a joke. I'm really good at making money and I'm really good at spending money. I don't have trouble with those two things. And most business owners are the same way. Most small business owners, most service business owners, especially in the lighting game, are the same way. And when you make all this money at Christmas time, we're following these guys online who are in not only a different tax bracket, but a different mindset than we are. We're telling you to make sure you reduce your tax burden. Problem is all of our money comes in that fourth quarter. So we often rush the decision-making process on what to buy, on what to, purchase to reduce that tax burden, instead of, hey, over these 3 quarters, we have this, we can plan for it a little bit. And all of a sudden you're making decisions the last week of December based off of nothing, off of fairy dust, off of, I think I have this much money, I need to spend it. Because if you hire a bookkeeper and accountant, you'll realize that just because you have money in the bank, that doesn't even mean that that's your profit for the year, right? There's all these things. There's the deductions. There's, you know, depreciation on cell phones and computers and cameras and all of this stuff. So we make decisions based off of knowledge we don't have, right? We see $100,000 in the business bank account. We're like, oh shit, now it's going to add $100,000 to my payroll that the government, I'm going to have to put my taxes. But we don't realize that the truck and the trailer and all these depreciating assets actually reduce that. So we end up spending money we didn't need to spend and then become cash poor. And cash poor sucks. It's the killer, right? It's the reason why guys drop out of lighting and become painters, or guys drop out of lighting and just focus on something else, or they drop out of any business. This is not exclusive to outdoor lighting. This happens across the board. Because as a business owner, not only do you have to know your craft, be good at it, like for lighting, like you need to focus on design, but that's just one little piece. You do need to know business. You need to know money. You need to know taxes. You need to know HR and payroll. Like, what is your workers' comp? What does your state require? What does it require for uniforms? What does it require for clocking in? What does it require for all of these different things? Is the sales tax different for Christmas lights than it is for permanent soffit lighting? Is it different for landscape lighting? Is it taxable product but not taxable service? Is it taxable on the service but not the product? Is it considered a capital improvement project? Is there a difference between temporary and permanent installations? What actually makes something a permanent installation? What actually makes something a capital improvement project? These are things you need to know. And you don't need to know them at the moment you start to see if this is going to be for you, but you need to start preparing for them, because that was one of the things that brought me down the first time that, I had big issues in the business was this stuff I didn't know. I thought I knew, right? See the Instagram videos of these ballers telling you to spend and buy a fucking heavy truck because you can, reduce it, blah, blah, blah. It's making poor decisions on a lot of different things because I didn't know. I didn't spend the $500 or $1,500 it would have cost me to even have a consultation with a good attorney, a good bookkeeper, a good accountant, right? These things, they might not seem like they matter, but I'm telling you, they matter fast. When you're doing 100,000 or less, yeah, do you need all these people? Well, you'd be smart, but you don't need them, right? But as you continue to scale, and then as what we always saw was that, with Christmas being in that fourth quarter, the revenue produced was more than triple the rest of the year. And that can be a hard thing because you're this size of a company all year long. And then all of a sudden, Christmas time, so many of your systems break because you become a bigger company. If you did the same revenue you did during Christmas every single month of the year, your company would look different. You'd have a different staff. You'd have different systems in place. So it can be really hard to transition into this big company, right? Because if you did $1 million a month all year, you're a $12 million company, but you're actually a $1.5 million company, $1.6 million company. And your systems are based off of this, but you're operating at this level for 3 months out of the year. It can be a killer in more ways than one. So planning for 2026 is super important, and you should be doing it now. You should be planning, your months ahead. In January, the captain's crew members, they're all coming. We're going to do a whole 1-day virtual event. We call it the Impossible Games. And we're going to go over together, right? Body and business. So 2 of the 4 categories is body, being, balance, and business. We're going to do body because it's the easiest, and then we're going to business. What we're going to do is you have what are my goals and impossible, right? So impossible is the top goal, right? So there's like real, there's radical, and there's impossible, right? Realistic, radical, impossible. Realistic is that goal that's going to happen, right? We make this much every year just because we do. Just from everything we do, we know we're going to make this much. It's just going to happen. What's the radical? What if I 3x or 4x that? What does that look like? How is that done? Who is the man or the woman that I have to become to even operate at that level? And then the impossible. What if I 10x my 20x? Right? It is it's called impossible because it's impossible to do as the man or woman you are right now. But when you look at that 12 to 16 month goal out, and it's impossible, it becomes possible because of all the months leading up to it, the mindset changes that have to be made, the decisions. When you have that clarity of I'm going towards this impossible game, every decision must align with that. And if it doesn't, fuck it, it's a no, move on. And knowing that has helped me dramatically, right? Because I used to say yes to so many things. Oh, yes, I'll do this wedding. Yes, I'll do this. Yes, I'll rent marquee letters. All fine things, but they didn't support what my actual fucking goals were. So I shouldn't have been doing them. Yeah, did I make some money? Yep. But did it hinder me and take my focus and take my time away of something that I should have been working on? Absolutely, it did. So in January, when we meet, it is going to be a clarity event. It's not going to be a sit around bullshit. What is this? It is a clarity event. What are you going to do in 12 to 16 months when we sit back down at this table? Where are you going to be? Are you going to be the same man or the same woman you were 12 to 16 months ago? Or are you going to fucking say enough and change some shit to make real changes across all of your life, not just business? Because that's what it requires. When the guys that we all look up to that are making the money, the guys that we all know, right? Do you think they have the same mindset as you and I? If you're watching this and you're even doing $1 million, you couldn't handle earning $10 million. That's why lottery winners lose all their money. The mindset's not there. You have no idea what the fuck to do with it. No different, right? We're talking about billionaires. We have no concept of that. So when you're going like that is like the real impossible game when you're making 100,000, you want to do that. But there's mindset shifts. When you're making 100,000 personally, you are not ready to make 200,000 personally. Your mindset has to change. You have to become a different person. You have to die to the old man and become new all the time. Never staying stagnant, always doing a look back. What went right? What went wrong? What should I change? What should I shift? Okay, what am I doing this week? What are my 4 things? What are my 5 things that I'm going to focus on no matter what? I'm going to spend some time, 15, 20 minutes a day, knocking out these things because I say they are vitally important to propel me towards my impossible game. But if I don't do these things, my business doesn't die. My business doesn't even get worse, but it doesn't move forward in the way that I want it to move. And when you carve out and say, yes, I will do this. This is important because I chose it was important. That's when big things can happen because you're taking it serious and you are deciding to do things rather than always responding and putting out fires or always, what should I do next? What should I do next? And when you can take all that thought and all that and do it in a day, and not that it doesn't change and you don't alter it and you don't pivot, but when you put real work in the thought process, ooh, baby, it changes things across your entire life, not just your business. All right. So if you want to, attend that, I know my Captain Cruise guys are going to be there. I'm going to definitely invite a few others. If you want to hop on or find some information, follow me on Instagram is probably the best way. Go to captainmattoutdoors.com for all of that. You can look into Captain's Crew mentoring. It's not a coaching program. It's not a video program. It's a real life, real shit. Let's get into it. Outdoor lighting, whether you're doing Christmas or soffits or landscape lighting or all 3 of them, I can help you. So if you're interested, go check it out. And that's a wrap. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to go put up an 18-foot Christmas tree with some guys, have some fun, sing some Christmas carols and whatnot. I hope you all have a wonderful day. This has been Captain's Quarters First Class, a podcast about outdoor lighting and the life you live. All right.